For the past 50 years, since 1973, the Greater Pueblo Sports Association has served the Pueblo community by promoting all sports in the city and county of Pueblo, Colorado, at the same time as providing a greater awareness among Puebloans of the many sports and activities available throughout the city. This awareness has been achieved through the GPSA's recognition of the outstanding efforts of participants and contributors to those sports through the establishment of a Hall of Fame and the granting of several other special awards each year. This is the story of the Greater Pueblo Sports Association.
Actually 50 years ago, longer than 50 years ago, in the summer of 1972, there was a group formed in Pueblo called the Pueblo Sports Boosters Club, and they decided to become a committee of the Chamber of Commerce. Anyhow, the original steering committee for that Sports Boosters Club was composed of Brian McCartney, of course from Centennial, and Solly Rosso, Ernie Bellotti, Bob Trevithick, Lauren Kilstoft, and myself. The original concept was to recognize some local sports heroes and their accomplishments, and somewhere along the line it got suggested that we create a Pueblo Hall of Fame.
First Hall of Fame, as the name came out in September of 1972. That was the official name that was established as the Greater Pueblo Sports Hall of Fame.
The first banquet was held in the fall of the following year, 1973. Some financial institutions around Pueblo and many other people got involved. Sam Jones, of course, from Sam Jones Agency, and the DeRose family, Mike Solardino, Dave Socher, Lee Douglas, Hoy Frakes, Sam Pashada, and many other people in the community who wanted to help produce and promote sports in our city, because that was one of the things for which Pueblo has always been known to produce. Well, initially, the first year, the first group of inductees were primarily people that had excelled just as athletes. And then it expanded to, as I mentioned, contributors that had promoted sports in Pueblo. And of course, the Hall of Fame came about, and it got to be a bigger thing than just talking about a small group of athletes that we needed to recognize.
We have a lot of individuals that are honorees that have been inducted through the Hall of Fame, and each one has been well qualified. There's no one particular individual that we hold out. There are some noted celebrities, of course, and some of them that you might know, such as Earl Dutch Clark, and Solly Rosso, and Hoy Frakes, and Bob Trevithick.
And of course, Dutch Clark, being one of the first inductees, this was at a time that was before Public School Stadium had its name changed to Dutch Clark Stadium. So that became an additional recognition of probably the most famous athlete from Pueblo, and that would be Earl Dutch Clark. The enthusiasm just really set the tone for the next 50 years. And here we are down the road 50 years hence, and unfortunately the only original members of the steering committee that are left alive are myself and Bob Trevithick, who was a teacher, an athlete, and activities director at Central High, and I want to pay tribute to Bob Trevithick for also being part of that surviving twosome now of the original steering committee.
Since the first induction class, the GPSA has continued to grow, boasting 370 members to date. The biggest question that remained after that first induction banquet was where were all of the individuals who were inducted to the new Hall of Fame going to be enshrined after they were honored at the annual induction banquet each November.
The inductees are now housed, once again, with our partnership with the Colorado State University. Our Hall of Fame room is at the Masari Gym there at the college. So we have a room up there, but with 370 inductees, we've outgrown that room. And now with the partnership with the Thatcher Building, Louis Carleo and the Thatcher Building, he's given us another place to house our inductees. So if you go through the Thatcher Building, you'll see actually our very first inductees are in there. And every year we'll move a group over to the Thatcher Building and then put the new inductees for this year into the Hall of Fame room.
Each year at the annual GPSA induction banquet that happens on the third Wednesday of November, along with inducting a new class to the Hall of Fame, the GPSA grants several special awards to other individuals in the Pueblo sports scene.
Then we give two high school athletic awards, the Brian McCartney Award, which is a male and female best athlete in the community. So all activities directors put in the applications for their high schools, and that's all our community, including Rye, Dolores Huerta, our 4 high schools in Pueblo West. So those all put in their applications, and at that time we pick a Brian McCartney Award winner. His daughter, Ann McCartney, usually attends the banquet on their behalf of their family to support that particular award.
Because of the GPSA's partnership with Colorado State University Pueblo, they also recognize the top female and male scholar athlete through the Jesse Banks Award, named for the pioneer in women's sports who founded the basketball program at CSUP and served as the head coach for many years, and the Spank Blazing Award, named after the longtime coach and administrator at the university that launched the men's track and cross-country programs during his tenure.
Probably our newest award that we started providing is the Sally Rosso Award. It's probably only been going on the last 7 or 8 years. And Pueblo West, first of all, pretty much dominated that the last 5 years with, but this last year, Pueblo South won that award. So we also look at it as a team award or a school award for the, having the most teams with competing and representing our community.
I was inducted in the Greater Pueblo Sports Hall of Fame in 1989.
It's an honor to be a member. I remember getting the phone call telling me I had been elected, and I was speechless, which was unusual for me.
Getting that call from one of my past head coaches, in Fred Rodriguez, was a pretty special call, because finding out you're part of the Greater Pueblo Sports Association, it kind of is the Hall of Fame of Hall of Fames in our community. So it's really an awesome feeling to be nominated and then to be selected.
It's an honor to be able to be inducted in the Hall of Fame. Any one of the new inductees will come to feel that they are in with a certain group of people that have represented themselves.
But it's truly an honor to be recognized by your peers, whether you were an athlete, a coach, or a contributor. And just being part of Pueblo's sports history makes you feel very special, and I know that's the case for me.
You're in there with, I mean, you know, when you can be inducted with guys like Dutch Clark and Fred Rodriguez and you know, Jim Greaves, one of my head coaches, and you're kind of in that whole little group of, not little, I mean there's 370 of us, but over 50 years, maybe that's an average of 6 or 7 people or more, you know, through the years. So you're in a select group, and to be a part of that, I know that every inductee that gets inducted just feels like it's one of the best honors that you can have.
With 50 years of history in the books for the GPSA, the community should be excited for what the next 50 years of inductees and moments in Pueblo sports will look like.
Well, the outlook and the future of the GPSA is going to fall on other inductees that come in and want to be a part of something as special as the Greater Pueblo Sports Association.
We've added some new members, and that's great. We like to have younger, new blood, obviously, come into the picture, because the future of the GPSA really depends on a lot of young folks taking over for those of us who have been around a while.
So in the last 2 years, we've tried to be a little bit progressive in creating some current things like Twitter and Facebook, and trying to get our brand or our idea across to the community, as well as everybody that's interested in this particular thing. I'm a big thinker as far as hoping that someday we could maybe have our own GPSA building or room where all our inductees could be housed, where we could possibly bring our high school students, elementary students in and interact with, you know, some of the inductees and what they were about. It's probably going to be their grandparents, aunts, uncles, and they're all going to be a part of something with dealing with Pueblo. So there's a lot that can be done. It's, you know, we're probably just scratching the surface of what we've tried to provide. We've kept it pretty simple, where we are recognizing people that have done a lot for our community, and so from there we'd like to maybe have our younger people come in and get a chance to see what the Greater Pueblo Sports Association is all about.
On behalf of the entire Pueblo community, it is our honor to wish the Greater Pueblo Sports Association and its members a heartfelt congratulations on 50 years of history, and we wish the GPSA luck in its next 50 years of telling the story of sports in Pueblo.